Capricorn One.
Yes.
And you've now you said you watch this like at least once a year.
I do. I do. I have it on DVD and Blu-ray because the Blu-ray doesn't have all the extras, and I'm one of those like, are they going to come out with a 4K?
Yeah, because I before I tell you like what I thought about it, I want to
Yeah.
know what's your so you watch every year, so you like genuinely love this movie.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. There's something captivating about it. It's a just true. It's a good action movie. The stunts are all, obviously it was in the 70s. The stunts are all real, so there's kind of has that authenticity to it. It was say it was full of stars at the time, like in one or two scene, Telly Savalas, Karen Black, um, just two of Barbara Streisand's husbands are in it.
Exactly, which is
Ellie Gould
amazing.
and Brolin. But yeah, so there's just something about it that's kind of intrigued me. So I remember I watched it like, ABC Sunday night movie of the week, whatever it happened to be. So I think that's when I first watched it as a kid. But so yeah, tell me your thoughts on it. Your
Well,
first time viewing? Yeah.
the extras in the like the DVDs are
Yeah.
these like deleted scenes or
No, I think there was a little bit behind the scenes and audio commentary. Nothing too exciting, but I had to see what they were.
okay. Because I went into this movie with an open mind, as you do, and I genuinely love this movie. And for two main reasons. One is the cast. You have 70s James Brolin. You have
Hmm.
O.J. Simpson, who has a very small role, and that's certainly not a reason to love a movie. But seeing him, he's actually like a good actor. I mean, from
They
coming
they
off the
got
football field, he held his own.
they got a good performance out of him here.
Got a good performance. Elliot Gould is great in there. Sam Waterston's in it.
Hmm.
Hal Holbrook, who
Oh yeah.
I always loved him. He was a great actor, and I did. The only person I knew going into this was James Brolin, just because we like talked about it, and I think OJ. So I was really surprised at the cast. And two was the it's like old school filmmaking. Like you said, they do all their own stunts. There's really no like special effects, and there's so many. They get you right out of the gate. And I'm not going to spoil anything if you haven't seen it, but just to give the description of the movie for the listeners, it's a 1978 thriller film, which a reporter discovers that there's a supposed Mars landing landed by the crew, and it's been faked, and there's a whole conspiracy theory. But it kind of ties into like the fake moon landing, which obviously it's not fake, but it's just such a I genuinely love this movie. Everything but the slow motion ending, I thought was like fantastic. That was
They
hilarious,
had
by
to
the
end
way.
it, yeah. And those, well, I don't want to spoil it, um, but yeah. So and actually, yeah, I went to that. So I've been to a handful of locations. I haven't created the page officially for this movie yet, but yeah, I've been working on the locations over the years.
Yeah, which I'm really excited to see. Um, the Capricorn One locations. Are they were they like the California desert? Like, give us a tease.
Yeah. So the desert ones, yeah, they were up in the desert, and I think they also went to Arizona for a couple of them. I can't remember. So those I've not done, but Brenda Vaccaro's house is right out, right by CBS. Like literally, they could have walked from the studio uh,
Yeah,
over there. Some Studio City. The when he loses control of his car and over the bridge, of course, that's down in Long Beach. Um, but yeah, so a little bit all across LA. It's funny. I did find it. I do all this research, and I found like this press packet, and it says, the house located at 12670. Like they actually list the address for the house. I'm like, well, that's convenient.
here you go.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
what's really interesting too about Capricorn One, and you can see where um, Apollo 13 took some cues because they kind of take place around the same time in the 70s,
Mm.
and the big dilemma they had in Capricorn One was without giving anything away, why would they fake a Mars mission or a trip to space? And it's because interest in the space program in the 70s was waning a lot. Like it was huge in the 60s, and then they went to the moon, and it kind of just went downhill from there because where do you go after you have the moon landing? So, there's a whole political thing where, well, they're going to cut funding to NASA, and they actually do have the real NASA, like
Hmm.
the old school logos that are now the current ones. Like it was
NASA
all very
helped.
authentic.
Yeah, NASA helped them with this movie, surprisingly.
Did they really?
Yeah, which you would
Yeah.
think it was kind of like it's like
That
SeaWorld
is
helping.
surprising. You would think
You know,
that's like FedEx helping Castaway. You're like, this is bad for business, but they helped them.
They did. So despite they're kind of the bad guys in the movie, but
Yeah.
interesting. So,
But
but
yeah, it
yeah,
gives a
so
moral paradox. Like, what do we do
yeah,
to cut
so
funding? And and there's all kinds of personal, and it kind of took a North by Northwest feel towards the end of it, which I thought was
oh yeah,
great. And
oh
I love
absolutely,
70s James Brolin. Between that and the Amityville Horror,
oh yeah,
um, he's great.
get that baby.
Oh my gosh.